Ever wonder how the United States went from a bunch of rebellious Tea Party enthusiasts to a global superpower with a superhero complex? Well, sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's dive into the history of independence and equality, American style. Spoiler alert, there will be fireworks, declarations, and more costume changes than a Broadway show. Our story begins in the 18th century, a time when powdered wigs and questionable hygiene were all the rage. The American colonies were getting a bit fed up with the British crown. You see, King George III was that annoying landlord who constantly hikes up the rent, taxes, without fixing the leaky plumbing, representation. So, in 1773, some mischievous colonists disguised as indigenous people threw a pretty epic tea party in Boston Harbor. No cakes, just crates of tea being dumped overboard in protest of the Tea Act. Talk about bitter drinks. Fast forward to July 4, 1776. On this day, a group of colonial reps gathered in Philadelphia, probably sweating buckets in their woolen suits, to sign the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson penned the famous words, "All men are created equal," which wasn't entirely accurate since women, enslaved people, and Native Americans were, well, not exactly invited to the Equality Party. Nonetheless, this document was their RSVP to freedom. Cue the Revolutionary War montage, complete with dramatic crossing the Delaware River shots and an underdog victory against the might of the British Empire. By 1783, the Treaty of Paris was signed, and the colonies officially became the United States of America. Think of it as the ultimate by Felicia moment in history. But wait, just because you've got independence doesn't mean you've nailed equality. The early years of the US were a contradictory dance of everyone is equal, except when they're not. Slavery was still a thing, and women's rights were somewhere between not today and maybe after lunch. Progress came in fits and starts. The Civil War tore the nation apart in the 1860s over the issue of slavery. Imagine a really messy roommate breakup, but with cannons and bayonets. The North won, and the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. Cue the celebrations, but hold the confetti. The Reconstruction era that followed was a bumpy attempt to integrate formerly enslaved people into society. Fast forward to the 20th century, where social movements started to gain serious momentum. Women's suffrage, civil rights, LGBT rights, each wave crashing against the shores of inequality and eroding it bit by bit. Figures like Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King Jr., and Harvey Milk became household names. And yes, they all would have rocked social media. So, where are we now? The US has come a long way, but the journey toward true equality is like trying to find a pair of matching socks in a laundry basket of social issues. It's messy, ongoing, and occasionally you discover something you didn't even know was there. But hey, that's the American way, in pursuit of a more perfect union, one quirky, chaotic step at a time.